Jan Doyle. Welcome to Classroom Connections. Today's guest, it was a real treat for me to meet her at another time. I just really enjoyed our conversations, and I know you're going to enjoy today's show. She's the public face on the East Haven Trolley Museum, Kathy Oslinski. I blew it. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jan. I'm thrilled to be able to share the Shoreline Trolley Museum with your viewers.
It is such a wonderful asset to have so close down the street. Now, your exact title is Director of External Affairs. What does that mean?
Well, it really encompasses several things. I'm the public face of the museum and sort of lead the marketing effort. Mm-hmm. So, meeting great people like you and shows like this, and doing the advertising, whether it's print ads or some radio spots occasionally that we've gotten. I design flyers, brochures, and things like that.
Basically, you do everything.
Oh, well, I do have people that help too, but I put my hands on a lot of the aspects of our marketing.
And this is a volunteer position.
Yes, it is.
So when you were talking, I think people might think this is a paid position, but it's not.
No, it's volunteer.
You put a lot of time into this job.
Yeah.
This a free job, this non-paid job.
I know, enough for it to be full-time. I could definitely do more with it if I had more time to do it. Mm-hmm. And it's a labor of love too. When you care about an organization, you enjoy what you do and don't mind putting the time in.
Now you have to tell the viewers how the Trolley Museum fits into your marriage, and this was such a wonderful story. And you brought your husband with you here tonight. He's in the control room, and he's a cutie too, because you look adorable in your hat. But how did the Trolley Museum get into your marriage?
Well, I have to say that when I was a child, it's the sort of place that my parents brought us to on vacation.
Ah, that's good to know.
This is the kind of thing, whether it is something historical or, of local interest, local history, or even just sort of train or trolley related, that this is part of my, growing up. This is what we did. And of course, that's what I thought everyone did.
Well, I had to interrupt here because that is so critical for children, for background knowledge, that they bring that in, these events that your parents took you to, these experiences that you had, goes into the classroom and it provides background knowledge for what they need to learn. So your parents really were on cutting edge. Years ago, cutting edge. All right, so I interrupted you, so go on with your story.
Well, fast forward a few years. I came to the Trolley Museum first, I think I was about 12 years old. A few years later, my boyfriend had model trains, played with model trains. Well, I grew up with model trains. What an interesting thing to have in common. And one of our first, not our first date, but our first really going somewhere special, and of course somebody drove us because we were too young to drive.
Isn't that cute?
Was to the Trolley Museum.
That is so cute.
So I think it was a Members Day, which is one of the special days. It's you can join the organization to help support it and either volunteer or just, watch from the sidelines. And we enjoyed it so much that throughout the next few years, maybe decade or so, we just kept going back. Every so often we'd stop back and we'd bring friends and, just enjoy it. And then finally one day, he's very strong in the volunteer aspect of things.
Because he volunteers there also.
Yes, he does.
What does your husband do there?
He works on a variety of things like myself. Actually, every volunteer there wears several hats. Mm-hmm. People get involved in everything. But he does work on the trolley cars themselves, some of the business aspects of the museum, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. A lot goes on. And, all the things that it takes to run an organization, we all dabble in. So a few years after us going there for a while, he said, I think they could use some of what I do. I'd like to help them. What do you think? I said, geez, sounds good to me. Sounds great. Now, I have to say at the time, I was extremely shy, socially awkward, and
I find that so hard to believe.
Well, this is what the Trolley Museum helped shape me into really.
That's interesting.
Because I started going up with him. First, he'd go up by himself because we live a few towns away, and he would work on it. And then I started to go with him, and I would just sort of ride the cars and not really get involved with things. But I got to know people, some of the most wonderful people our members there. And slowly but surely, I started to see things that I thought I could do. You know, I think I can help do something like that. I could kind of jazz up a flyer, or I could do some gardening. I do gardening too. You know, I could do these little things, and then it just sort of snowballed. And next thing you know, I'm sitting here with you.
Well, you know, you said so many
really
interesting things that parents can take from this. You revealed that you were shy and awkward, and getting involved in this was a tremendous asset. Now, do many children volunteer there?
Well, not really, because of the nature of it. It's a railroad.
Yes.
It is. So there are safety aspects, you know, that we have to keep in mind. So it's really primarily, I think it's 18 years old and over. I think we've had a few sort of junior members that have come and assisted with things. We've had people help out with our events and things like that. But a lot of the more, you know, shop type work.
And you ended
really
up,
for
just to
older
finish
people.
that story,
Sure.
you ended up marrying
Yes.
the guy.
Yes, I did.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
It really is a neat thing to have in common.
Now, a few years ago, I went to the Trolley Museum, and one of the things that I noticed, I took a ride. There was a grandpa on the trolley with his grandson, and I was by myself, and I was sitting, I'd say 3 or 4 seats back, and he was explaining his life on the trolley and how this is how he got to work and how he did his recreation. And the little boy was in awe. And it was such a precious moment. And afterwards, they were going for ice cream. I wanted to go join them.
Isn't that wonderful?
But it was just, and it's always stayed with me, this image, and which is the reason why I wanted to have other people exposed to it, because I think often people see something like that, it's in our backyard, and they don't take advantage of it. Whereas they would travel around the world to go see something like that. So when we talk about the Trolley Museum, this is a wonderful thing that parents can get involved in. And this has been in continuous operation since when?
Since the year 1900.
Wow.
So it's not so much that, it was an original trolley line, which is why it's a National Historic District also. It's the oldest continuously operating suburban trolley line in the United States. So that stretch of trolley line, from its inception, from the start, has never ceased running. It transferred from the Connecticut company, who operated the trolleys, Connecticut, to the Branford Electric Railway Association, which operates the Trolley Museum, in the 1940s, I believe 1945. Of course, all that information can be found in our books.
Yes.
And and it just kept going. So it went from a transit company to a museum, seamlessly.
That is unusual.
Yeah, it really is. And it's a testament to the efforts of people who at that time recognized something that was going by the wayside, a technology that was being, discontinued.
Yes.
And saw that, we need to preserve this. We like it. They had it was a club, really. And these were young men. These were men in their, late teens and early 20s who took it upon themselves to make the effort to contact the Connecticut company and say, what can we do? How can we keep part of this? And because of that.
And this is a valuable experience for children to enjoy and to know about and learn about. And it's hands-on.
Yes.
It's not just in a book where
Right.
they would get in a social studies textbook. Now, there's a ton of trolleys there. There's one operates at one time.
We have a couple that'll be running at one time. There's enough room for 2 trolleys running it. And we've got probably close to 100, right about 100 in our collection. We have trolley barns that house them in various states of restoration or preservation. There's always something being worked on in our shop.
Yes.